Earlier today, Jim Benning was on Sportsnet on a phone interview, and he was asked about Nikita Tryamkin. Now, this is an interesting topic because every time I talk about Nikita Tryamkin, every time he comes up in my videos, on my channel, I always get comments from Canucks fans saying that either Tryamkin is a guy that they want back, or I get a lot of comments saying that Nikita Tryamkin is a bum and they wouldn't want to see him back in Vancouver and he should just stay overseas. I get 50-50 the comments on both of those topics. People who like Tryamkin and want him to come back, and people who don't like him and want him to stay away. It's actually kind of weird. But Jim Benning was on the radio, and they asked him about Tryamkin, and the question was specifically, is there a future of Nikita Tryamkin with the Vancouver Canucks? And it's at this point in the interview, I'll leave a link down in the description, where Jim Benning kind of glistens. You know how you can hear someone smiling? You know how you can just hear it in their voice when they're happy? That was the same thing that we heard with Jim Benning. After they asked him, is there a future of Tryamkin in Vancouver, Benning just gleamed up and he was like, there sure is. And you could hear how happy he was to start talking about Tryamkin, basically covering up what Benning said in that interview. Him and Tryamkin's agent have been talking. They've talked a little bit recently, and Jim Benning has expressed a ton over how he's so willing to get Tryamkin back on the Vancouver Canucks. And this is kind of interesting. I like it. I like hearing about guys like this because Tryamkin is a player who, honestly, I'd like to see back. I'm not in that boat of people saying, nah, man, the guy left. The guy ditched our team. Leave him. I don't really agree with that. Because if you take a look at it, the reasons Tryamkin didn't come back to Vancouver, his family, his wife, they got homesick and he chose the family and the wife over playing hockey. I think that's a very understandable thing, to be honest. But also, Tryamkin wasn't really in a system that suited his play style. He was getting played in ways that he wasn't really used to, and it wasn't really super beneficial. Willie Desjardins and his system really didn't work. But Tryamkin is a guy who, in my opinion, certainly does have the ability to come back. And Benning said this himself. Tryamkin is going to play 2019-2020 with the Avtomoblist Yekaterinburg because he is the captain of that team in the KHL. His contract goes until 2020. So 2020-2021 is the first season where Tryamkin is able to come back should he decide to do so. However, from the looks of it, it does appear like he would come back, just based off of how Benning is so excited and how Benning has said, yeah, there is a future of Tryamkin with the Vancouver Canucks, all we gotta do is wait. So, going forward into the next few seasons, Tryamkin is a guy who, in my opinion, honestly does have somewhat of a spot on this team. I don't want to send him away. He's a 6'7", 265-pound defender who can skate fairly well for his size. I know a lot of people have harped on him for that, but in my opinion, whenever I saw Tryamkin, I always kind of thought, damn, that guy's pretty alright. But regardless, Tryamkin is a player who, if he does come back to the Vancouver Canucks, he'll be bringing back a lot of experience, a bigger role, and a lot more maturity, I would say. Because Tryamkin, before he left Vancouver, he was just getting married and he was not really in the best of positions because Willie Desjardins didn't give the best development to him, in my opinion at least. And he went over to Russia, he was the alternate captain for the Avtomoblist Yekaterinburg, he captained that team last season, and in that season, he got 11 points in 41 games played. The interesting thing to note about Tryamkin, taking a look at his play from 2018 to 2019, in 2017-2018, his first season away from Vancouver, he had 25 points in 51 games and 109 penalty minutes. This season, as the captain, he was at 11 points in 41 games, but he only had 31 penalty minutes. That says to me that he's become so much more disciplined over the course of just 1 year in the KHL. And if he's able to bring that kind of maturity back into the NHL with a Travis Green that's more understanding of how to play these younger players, I mean, Tryamkin's not necessarily young. He's 24. He'll be 25, 26 when he comes back to Vancouver, assuming that does happen. I do believe that Tryamkin will be put in a position to really allow himself to play his game, especially with how Benning has been so happy talking about it. On the radio, he just gleamed up, and it really did seem like he wanted Tryamkin back, definitely. So, that's my little tidbit on Nikita Tryamkin and the Vancouver Canucks. I believe he's going to come back. I'm looking forward to when he comes back, and I honestly believe that when he comes back into the league, we're going to be getting a better player than we did in 2016, 2017. Hope you enjoyed this video. Social Gaming, and bye.